when I went in to get the MRI, I had called ahead to schedule it. And I made them very much aware that I was a paraplegic and in a wheelchair, and they assured me that that would be no problem. I got to the imaging office, and first thing I had to do was transfer from my wheelchair to one of their wheelchairs, which was fine. They did not have a transfer board for me. And so I had to go out to my car to get my transfer board. And I transferred into their wheelchair. And the technician began pushing me into the imaging room. And then she asked me if if I was dragging my feet. And I said, yes, I was, because the wheelchair did not have any footrests. And then she said, can you lift them, please? And I had to tell her, I says, no, I am a paraplegic. That means I can't move from the waist down. And so my sister says, well, how about if we just turn the wheelchair around and back her into the room so her feet are dragging rather than pushing? Well, then we got into the imaging room, and you know how high those tables are. And the technician says, well, I can't help you onto the table. You'll have to do that yourself. And my sister and we worked for, a good 45 minutes trying to get me onto the table. And I have bruises on my abdomen and ribs that can attest to the struggle we were going through, and probably did even more damage to my shoulder. When the technician brought in some stairs, and she said, would this help? And I again had to reply, no, I can't step on stairs either. I am still a paraplegic. That hasn't changed. And so we eventually got me onto the table, but not after a lot of humiliation, embarrassment, and pain. And so just the accessibility of the facilities, that was one of the biggest and most eye-opening and humiliating experiences I've had with accessibility to a doctor's office.